Hey guys, before we get into this video, I've got some exciting news for you EV drivers. We are hosting a meetup to celebrate the launch of IONNA's new EV charging network. IONNA could set the standard for the best EV charging experience, and I can't wait to try it. So, if you're up for a road trip or if you live local to the Raleigh Triangle area, join me on December 19th to stress test IONNA's very first rechargery. The link is in the description to sign up, and I hope to see you all there at the launch of this new network. Now, to the video. It does have wired and wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which I think you're going to want to use because they said this is award-winning. I'm giving it the award for the worst EV route planning known to man. This is called the pistol grip shifter. Basically, they said they were just emulating a gun, which is cool with me. That's hilarious. That's cool. I love that. That's America. If there's ever a brand to do that, it should be Dodge. There is zero road noise coming through whatsoever. This is a fairly coarse surface, it looks like. I hear nothing.
Yeah, no, this is excellent.
This is really nice. For being frameless windows too, very little wind noise.
Yep.
Completely great sound isolation. And like suspension gets pretty firm and like surprisingly like handles way better than the previous generation Charger and Challenger. So I'm matted and it won't do anything.
Something's telling you.
We're in turtle mode. Thank you to our sponsors for today's video: StarCharge, InfyPower, Eaton, and Amber. StarCharge is the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage and microgrid solutions. And InfyPower is the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. This video is also brought to you by Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure hardware and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. And Amber, providing modern protection plans for your Tesla's battery and more without the hassle of long-term contracts or upfront payments. Check out the link in the description to explore their plan options and use code SPEC5 for a 5% discount on all plans. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona area, and welcome to a car no one asked for. And I'm still not sure no one will ever ask for. This is the Dodge Charger Daytona, which means it's the electric Charger, but it's a two-door, so you'd think it would be called the Challenger, but no, they're going way back old school to where the Charger used to be a two-door. And to be totally honest with you all, as I always am, I am at a loss for words. I am so confused. I have so many issues going into this review. So what I'm really hoping to find is I want to lay out all of my thoughts on this car, all of the specs, a full tour, and then I want to see if the car can win me over. I want to know if it really can be what Dodge claims, a muscle car, all this BS. All I'm seeing here is a over $70,000 car with really not much performance cred. But we'll talk about all of that in this video. It might be a bit harsh. Sorry, Dodge. But yeah, things are not looking good here. Behind the camera is my buddy Ben from the Jeebs YouTube channel. What's up, dude?
Hello. Very excited about this.
Can't wait to, I guess, a second collaboration or a third or something.
Yeah, Kyle snuck me into this event. He's like, do you want to be my cameraman? I'm like, sure.
Yeah, so follow the Jeebs YouTube channel for a bunch of cool car content, and also you own a Model 3 Performance and you're an EV guy, so all that stuff. This is the new electric Dodge Charger, and I think we're going to have a completely different take than most of the reviewers out there on this car. They're loud. One just drove by. They make all this fake sound. 800 watts of sound, by the way. Efficiency.
It's insane.
So there's a lot of like really confusing elements here, and I don't even know how to approach this car. All I can say is reading up on it yesterday, watching some of the reviews that have already been posted, because we're actually here after the embargo has lifted on it. I think everyone is confused on this car. And what's kind of interesting is this is built on STLA Large. They call it Stella Large, which supports both electric and combustion. So they're launching with the electric 2-door variant first. There will then be a 4-door version that's basically the same thing, same interior space, same body structure, just with a B-pillar and a second door put in. So it's purely a styling difference. And then there will be a combustion variant with their 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. No V8s planned as far as I can tell for this generation car. So this one's a pure battery electric vehicle. So let's quantify what the vehicle is before we get into it. There's a bunch of trims and options and it's a little bit confusing, but I hope we can break it down for you. Every single one of these chargers, come around the back, I'll show you kind of what it looks like, comes with a 100.5 kilowatt hour gross battery pack capacity. Gross battery pack capacity matters 0, by the way. It's all about the usable capacity. Speaking of usable capacity, check out this trunk space. This thing's huge. It's absolutely massive, so that's cool. Actually, to close the trunk, it's hilarious. There's no button back here. I know I'm jumping around, but you actually have to reach in, hit this one, get your head out the way, and then it will close. So it's 100.5 kilowatt hour. Ben almost died. 100.5 kilowatt hour gross battery pack, prismatic cell, NMC chemistry from Samsung, which all seems pretty good. 400 volt system architecture. It's like 430 volts full, holds 500 amps to 44-ish%, best I can tell, just over 200 kilowatt charging, DC. And it's 93.8, 93.9 kilowatt hour usable. So it's basically just over 90 kilowatt hour usable. So there's a buffer. They recommend an 80% charging limit every day, which makes sense. And there are only 2 settings for charge limit. It's 80 or 100%. There's no slider or anything. We genuinely have no idea how fast the onboard charger is, right, Ben? We asked the chief engineer of this car, which she's cool, by the way. She's awesome. Nothing to knock here, but no one at the event could tell us how fast the AC onboard charger was.
Did not get a clear answer on that.
And so I'm guessing 48 amps. Oh, interesting. It's got a little side flap.
Yeah, I've never seen it go to the side.
Dude, that's so annoying. It's so tight in there.
Because this is to pull down, not
right to the side.
It should be a clamp.
Yeah, right. The design would make you think you flip it this way.
Yeah.
But you have to flip it to the side.
Yeah, interesting.
That's dumb. Really weird charge port with like lights that face you. So at nighttime, you'll be blinded rather than lighting up here. Perhaps it's backlit in the port. Some ports are like that. Don't know. And then there's a bunch of lights here to indicate, I guess, SOC level.
Yeah, so there's 5 lights, so 20%.
Yeah, okay,
maybe.
Interesting. NACS, we also asked them, and they're like, we're thinking about it.
It's a little late.
Wasn't that their official
No, she
response?
said we're still considering, we're thinking, yeah. So, probably not happening.
I don't know. So many confusing elements here. What other specs should we mention, just to get it out of the way? 2 motors, so they're all-wheel drive, all the trim levels, and they're actually all the identical drivetrain. They're 2 permanent magnet electric motors. They're made by Bosch, the motor itself, and then they do their final assembly for the 3-in-1 inverter, gearbox reduction, and motor, sort of rotor stator combo in their factory. This is built in Canada, and the battery pack also is, the cells are shipped in from Samsung, but essentially the battery final assembly is done in Canada. And from what I understand, this should qualify, at least under the current rules, for the $7,500 tax credit, which is
nice.
Great.
That's awesome.
So that's very good to see. This is the basest one we could find, which is $70,900, almost 71 grand here at the event. It has a bunch of options because they actually start at under 60 grand, 59 something. But then there's I think a $2,000 destination fee. So they're really like 62 grand base. So they're just over 60 grand. There's already 0% financing and a lease special before they've even hit dealers. If that tells you anything you want to know about the projected excitement from the market on this vehicle, that should be it right there.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I think we should mention, it may not be picking it up on camera. It looks good in person.
Yeah. I mean,
better,
way better in person than in photos.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it looks great.
Not great.
But it's definitely interesting and I think fits the vibe. And I like this R-Wing thing, which is optional, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not standard.
Okay.
or it's only in the high trim one, something like that. They have this all new design. I mean, people, comment below if you like it or not. You have eyes. I'm not a design guy. I don't know. Everyone else talks about that. Ben, you're good at design. You like it.
I like design.
So we've got two 250 kilowatt motors. This is a lot to talk about here. In this version, they're detuned. And if you get the RT, which is the base spec, which has then been upgraded to stage 1, which you would think would be the base stage, but stage 1's an upgrade, which they only come stage 1 at launch. There will be even worse ones in the future, slower ones. But this one has like the 1-up power upgrade. They actually have a front axle disconnect on the standard ones. So they disconnect the hubs. So there's 2 physical clutch disconnects on this car. And on the performance version, which is the Scat pack, that one has 2 permanent magnet motors, identical, but they never disconnect. And that in that configuration, it makes 500 kilowatts, which is 600 and something horsepower. And it should be pretty quick because we've been driving, well, Ben's been driving this one, and it'd be interesting. Of course, we're going to go on a full drive here in a minute. So I think that's all the tech specs out of the way. AC and DC charging, powertrain, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds,
3.3
in the spicy one, which is stage 2 Scat pack.
That's right.
And then there's going to be an even crazier one coming in the future called the Banshee, which I think will be 800 volt, really cool, super spicy. That I'm looking forward to. Because the thing with muscle cars, which Dodge, I have some great quotes for everyone that I'll share throughout this video on how Dodge is marketing this car and how they're presenting it. But from my perspective, muscle cars have always been about cheap performance. And a Tesla Model 3 Performance costs how much, Ben?
$54,990.
Which is lower than the base price of this car. And its 0 to 60 is?
2.9.
Okay. So it's no longer cheap performance, because in order to get the 3.3 seconds 0 to 60, you're into this thing for basically 80 grand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not making so much sense.
If you put 0 options, not to talk about tax credits, but this qualifies, that qualifies. If you did 0 options on the Model 3, it's in the 40s.
Right.
So
this is way bigger than a Model 3, we should mention. It's over 206 inches long. It's almost the length of a Tahoe.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, okay, cool. It's wider than the old Hellcat wide body, which is insane. So it's just a massive vehicle going down the road, and it weighs more than a ton. It weighs 5,860 pounds, plus or minus. So it's like 5,800 pounds. It has maximum 500 kilowatts of power, and it costs fully loaded not that much less than a Tesla Model S Plaid. That's 1,000 pounds lighter with the same battery pack capacity, and not quite twice the power, but almost twice the power. And that's where I'm like, is this really a muscle car? That's for you to judge, not for me, but I just struggle to see the value proposition here. And I think Dodge does as well, because like I mentioned, they have that lease and finance deal right on the money. I want to go on a tour of this thing. So I'm going to pop the front trunk for you, if I can figure out how to do that. And I think I pull a tab. The front trunk is optional, Ben.
Yes.
What's up with that?
I don't know. And wasn't it a 5,000? Didn't you say it was a $5,000 option?
Yeah, I'll pull the window sticker, but it comes as part of the like 1 upgrade big package that includes a bunch of stuff. There, let's see if that does it. There we go.
I actually like that.
Yeah, so this is optional. Otherwise, what would you get here? And why is that an option?
I don't know. Yeah, what else would they do?
Just have an empty space?
I guess.
Why would...
This is how they should all come. This is fairly nicely done.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a okay size front trunk. You put your charging cable in there or whatever.
Yeah.
This one, don't fully know. That's confusing. Let's run around the side. So this thing, if you know, maybe we have to fast forward as we make our way to the back, but we've already shown everyone in the trunk, which is huge. It's a hatchback similar to a Model S. The button's really hard to find right there. And it opens up and it's very normal. It's a huge amount of trunk space. Rear seats, let me fold those down really quick. This one's not the 4-door, so I've got to like climb my way back here, and then I can put this down, and you just get a huge amount of storage.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, this is really nice. Here, I'm going to put the other side down really quick. Yeah, dude, you could sleep back here.
You absolutely could. And get the panoramic roof.
Yep.
Look up at the stars.
Yeah, so no issues with the storage. That's actually kind of cool. It's like a super uber practical 2-door. I'm not going to say the word sports car or muscle car because I just struggled to buy any of that. They put this giant ass speaker under here. I think that's a technical term for this. I'm not even going to attempt to say the name because I think it's just so lame.
Gas, giant ass speaker.
Yeah, there you go. That's what they should have called it.
Yeah.
This thing's got gas.
Yeah, there we go. Help the marketing team.
It apparently, and we've tried it already, we'll show in the video, but it basically simulates like a V8 noise with some spaceshipy noises. The problem is it's basically 1.0. So like in a typical combustion car, you have like idle at 700 RPM, let's just say, and a maximum speed of 6,500 RPM for a typical Dodge V8, let's just say. So it basically targets that rev profile of a V8 from 0 to max speed of the car. So the only time that you're really getting up there in the rev range is when you're doing over 100. So when you're driving around on a twisty road, a lot of people want noise, they want experience, but it just sounds like you're driving around in 6th gear everywhere. So
yeah. The one positive though, it did sound nice coming to a stop.
Yeah.
The cars that were in front of us, you can hear it. We were in the cabin, you could hear the other ones around us. That was cool.
Yeah, it's very loud and you can hear them.
There's one right there, yeah.
Mics probably won't pick it up, but we can hear them just like if they were driving a normal V8 Charger or Challenger.
Yep.
So some people will like the low speed rumble, but I struggle to believe that it's actually a helpful tool when driving quickly. By the way, they are going to let us take it out on track later, so we will have an on-road and on-track experience in this car today, which is, I think, going to be interesting. They'll let us drift it and slide it, and maybe that'll win us over.
Yeah.
So let's just go into range figures. 300 and just over 300 miles EPA.
303.
30 something.
And then 240.
In this one. And then 240 when you spec up to the Scat Pack. The Scat Pack with Track Pack or whenever you get the performance stuff, you get huge, juicy Goodyear Supercar 3 tires, which is a great tire, by the way. My friend is the engineer on that tire, so shout out Josh. And I've got a B, oh no.
We got a B. All right, we're good.
We're under attack. You get 305 front and 325 rear. Plus no clutch disconnect. That's why the range goes down so significantly. I think that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
What matters to us, like Ben was on the I-90 Surge, it's all about charging.
Yeah.
So as long as you have a good charging performance, then you'll be okay. And it sounds like this actually does have good charging performance.
Yeah.
So it'll hold, like I mentioned, over 200 kilowatts to 45%, and then should come down nicely. Technology-wise, let's show everyone inside.
Yeah. Want me to get on the passenger side?
Yeah, that'd be great. So the door handles are interesting. Maybe you can show the viewers. You kind of like squeeze.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's this little button up in here. A little button down here, too.
Okay, as we make our way inside of the Dodge Charger EV, which, by the way, I don't think can charge other electric cars.
Yeah.
It's branded as a Charger.
Yeah.
We'll turn it on because there's a physical start button. Don't understand that at all. It should just turn on. That's weird.
Foot on the brake on is the best way.
Yep. Get in, foot on the brake, should go to drive. You've got this like pretty actually nice steering wheel. Now, normally I'm not a flat bottom fan, but I think here for this car it really modernizes the look. It's got this pebbled texture, but doesn't feel weird. It's firm. It's not super padded. I'm okay with the wheel. We've got these little paddle shifters up here. Typical Stellantis buttons behind the wheel to do volume and next track and stuff. And then this controls all of the 2 screens here. This one is upgraded with the big screens. Let's pull the window sticker actually so we can show everyone what the heck we're dealing with.
I think this one's what, the 16.5 and the other one's like a 10.
Yeah. So base is 57,995. So they're basically 60 grand because after destination of 2,000. And this one's 71. Because it has the big option is RT stage 1 is $1,600. So that's the upgraded horsepower to almost 500 horsepower. But the plus group is 5 grand. And that's what gives you LED headlights, automatic high beams, security alarm, windshield de-icer, frunk, big display, rain sensitive wipers. You can get this thing without rain sensing wipers, ventilated seats, heated second row seats. That's cool.
Wow.
Head-up display, nice. LED matte pockets, okay, so extra lighting. Key fob activates window down. Why would that be in an option package? Doesn't cost them anything. It's got heated and cooled seats. Did you see I just hit it and it lit up both?
Yeah, it's both.
It did it to me earlier. See if your side does that. Nope, you were good. So it's a little bit buggy. We've had some like bugs and warnings through the car today.
Yeah.
Where it shows like traction control on randomly or like some other...
Or when you put it in the sport, it turned traction control off with no warning.
But didn't ask you, like there was no confirmation, which I thought was not legal.
Yeah. When you're Dodge, you can do anything.
I mean, look, I'm never going to complain about
it's really convenient.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the spec on this particular one. It's got auto roll up and down windows, which is nice, double pane with glazing, and it is supremely quiet on the highway.
It is.
This thing, if you're doing miles, this actually doesn't seem like a bad road tripper.
I totally agree.
Until you get to the technology, because it has no EV route planning.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, like I've always said with these cars, you should be able to be dumb and just go in, hit your destination, and the car's going to take care of it for you.
We're talking about Dodge Charger owners here.
Right.
These are not EV people.
Right.
This is
you got to make it as easy as possible.
It needs to be like so easy to understand. And if I go here, for example, and I put in Fort Collins, why is the screen over here, by the way?
I don't know.
The keyboard, I should say. Yeah. So we put in Fort Collins. We're thinking, we have service here, right?
It might not be great service where we're at.
Okay, Fort Collins, go home. Why did this pop up? No, we'll just go to center, drive. So it's the same system that I showed in the Lamborghini, in the Maserati Gran Turismo Folgore. So it says, okay, there's our route, pretty quick, very nice. 1 minute faster to go that way. Yeah. Yeah, I've done both routes, and we'll go drive. And then it will say something like recharging needed. And it will never add chargers automatically. You hit search along the route. So now we're like, okay, we got to charge somewhere. It should just auto plan this out. The one nice thing though is it suggests
you will arrive at your destination at 12:28 a.m.
Thank you. It suggests sort of the farthest away one you can make it to. So it's kind of cool because it shows you where you'll die. So it knows that. But why couldn't it just auto add these chargers? So let's see what happens when I select this one. Boom. Add the stop there. And then, okay, recharging needed to make it to your destination. I thought I just added that one. Very confusing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's a problem, for sure. And so now we can at least... I just don't know how anyone's ever going to figure this out.
So does Apple CarPlay, can it do Apple CarPlay, and can we integrate that in any way to use charging, or not really?
It doesn't have the like EV routing Apple CarPlay thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's the Mustang Mach-E has that?
It does have wired and wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which I think you're going to want to use because they said this is award-winning. I'm giving it the award for the worst EV route planning known to man. It won another one.
Got another one.
Good job, Dodge. What else do we have? We've got our display here that has 3 main screens, and they're very slow to move. You've got this comm screen that looks super out of focus for some reason. You see that 0 is like not clear? Then you've got your map, which is nice. Okay, we'll take that.
That's a good screen.
And then we'll get this one, which is the one you'll leave it on most of the time because you've got regen and output. You've got your miles per hour on the right, your speedometer. And then you've got all these top screens. Now, the cool thing is this display can show quite a bit. It's got creep turned off. Why are you showing me this? You've got content and layout. Come on. Head-up display on, so I've got that there. Anyway, bunch of different things. Driver assistance menu, trip information. Driving here, I'm really curious what our efficiency was like. 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour, dude, and we drove really gently.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad efficiency. So that's not an official test, but efficiency looks like it kind of went out the window with this one. You've got 0 to 60 timers, lap timers, braking distances, top speed, motor power, and then screen setup. You can put different dials in different places. Oh, this is your messages, so creep turned off should just, I don't know why that doesn't go away. So that's pretty configurable. But then in here, there's actually some really nice stuff that it can do. First of all, you have all of your hard touch points for climate, but it's like this sort of haptic feeling where there's like a little hammer and it just feels like you're breaking it every time.
Yeah, it's I've never felt anything like that.
It feels maybe it's the worst interaction touch point I've ever experienced in a car. This is...
I hope they can hear that.
I don't know if they can hear. I'll put my
get the
mic
mic
up
down
on
there,
here.
'cause it's-
Listen to this.
It's like the sound happens over here, but you feel it in your fingertip. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really, it's not that good. Okay, continuing on with actually some good things. I got to figure out how the heck we get over there. Performance pages. This is actually cool. So in here, you actually get gauges. Your high voltage battery level to the 0.1%, which is great. Your low voltage battery, potential power, high voltage battery temperature, front and rear motor temperature as well, which is great. And based off of the rear motor being a little bit warmer, I expect that one to be working harder in this one. And then you've got your power, torque, and wheel slip indications for the left and right side. Very cool. And you can even take a screenshot of your stats, which is honestly pretty cool. I like all this stuff. You can even pull up a graph.
Yeah.
And like when we get it out on track later, it'll be really interesting to see like state of charge level over time or battery temperature over time or something like that.
Oh, that's cool. You can pan through them there.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we can see like, okay, when we get on track, we'll start with the high voltage temperature and then we'll see what it'll get up to. So that'll be really cool. So there is some really cool features in here, but like not very many of them. Then you've got some hard buttons down here that look like we're missing a couple. So you've traction control off, lane departure, and parking sensors, USB-C ports. Shifter has like a little release underneath it. So once you squeeze the shifter, you can then pull it back to reverse, neutral, or drive. And then, of course, go all the way up for park. This is called the pistol grip shifter. Basically, they said they were just emulating a gun, which is cool with me. That's hilarious.
That's cool.
I love that. That's America. If there's ever a brand to do that, it should be Dodge. So I kind of like some of the gimmicky stuff here. Power button and then handbrake. Center console. Wow, opens that way. Pretty not so deep. But we'll take it. There is a 12-volt plug in there. No USB-C ports, surprisingly. They're right up there.
Yeah.
Backseat review time.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, two last things. We have drive modes on the screen. So you've got sport, auto, wet, snow. There's also an eco mode, which I haven't heard anyone mention yet. And the way to get eco mode is, don't even remember really. Electric vehicle. Gosh, I'm not going to make everyone wait through it, but there is like a drive mode setting in here somewhere. And forgive me for just getting in here. Electric vehicle. No, I don't remember. Anyway, there is an eco mode. So that will probably keep the front motor disconnected. Then I'm going to pull this tab on the back of the seat. It will auto fold forwards. And this has got to be one of the roomiest two-door cars I've ever been in other than a Spectre. I mean, it's really cool. So I've brought this down. I can sit back. Honestly, pretty okay levels of headroom as long as I lean forward. Other than that, my head hits the roof back here before it hits the headrest. Like the headrest ain't doing anything for me. So if you're super tall, maybe don't want to fit back here, or sit back here. The confusing, or I'd say concerning side for me is when you get the 4-door version, you have your one B pillar here and a separate door. I don't think the roof line changes. So you're going to have the same headroom in the 4-door version, which it's not that comfortable in the back. You do have plenty of knee room. You can't put your feet underneath the seat that much. I can get about that much of my foot before it stops moving. And I do have 2 USB-C ports, heated seats, and vents in the back. Honestly, very roomy, very wide car. I mean, that is one of the things. You can fit 3 adults side by side here, no problem. It is incredibly roomy. Is that something you want in a 2-door car? I don't know. I don't. I'd much prefer a 4-door version personally, but maybe someone out there wants this. So that's front, rear, trunk space. I think we got to drive it now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, you guys joined me in bed inside the Charger Daytona, the Daytona indicating the electric one. And I think it's fair to say that all of the hardcore combustion guys, I mean, what's interesting is normally we post videos like with everyone else. We're a little bit late to this one.
Yep.
And so I've been able to see the comments on other videos. Dude, there are no good comments on this car.
Yeah, you're up against the most hardcore V8 loving people when you're telling them, here's our electric car. It's a tough sell. Could bring in some new customers, but you're
Yeah, so like if you're going to piss off the V8 guys, right, which no question they've done, or at least very many of them, then can you win over the electric guys?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you know, this is a new platform that has to be relevant for years into the future, and they're not even matching what cars can do today in many areas. So I don't know who they are pleasing with this at the moment. It certainly is not me yet so far. I just want to add a couple points because we sat in a presentation this morning about Dodge explaining this car, and I thought they said some interesting things that I'd love to share the quotes with you.
Okay, let's share them.
Okay, Dodge said they do not want to build soulless self-driving street pods. Okay, so this is about a driving experience is what they claim, but it weighs almost as much as Lucid Gravity. So that's interesting. They also said they didn't set out to build a battery electric car. But we're in one, so they must have.
They did it.
Yeah, how could you like say, we didn't set out to build a BEV, but then we're in a BEV. I don't get that. And they said, we set out to build a better muscle car. Okay, I actually agree electric is the right powertrain choice for power and speed and drag racing and all that stuff. I mean, we've seen Lucid Sapphire, Rimac Navara, crazy stuff in the recent drag times videos. They're putting up some insane numbers. They want it to drive like a muscle car first and an EV second, which doesn't seem like a great thing.
For an EV.
Yeah. And they also said their Uconnect system is award-winning. And the last and best quote was, I think they've received a lot of criticism, and so they said, we actually do give a shit about what, they said, we actually do give a shit about our product.
Correct. Those
So
are
they're
quotes.
just confirming that they give a shit about this car.
Confirmed.
I am having a hard time feeling that from an engineering standpoint because the tuning on this is what we're going to get into. Now, you drove it over here. I'm about to drive it really for the first time. What was your impression of the quick drive?
So I was impressed. The cabin noise is good.
Yes.
It feels solid as you're driving it up the road. It has a ton of power. Yet,
and this is the base one, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yet the throttle is tuned heavy on the front, and that last 25% is no different than 3/4.
Interesting.
So it's not linear. It did ride really nice. I enjoyed, you get on it on an exit ramp. It's good, but there's a disconnect between the power that it has and how it feels on the road.
Right. And so, we're judging this one as just like a normal everyday car, which it needs to be. And it's got plenty of power to get up to speed. I still think it's not fast enough in the Scat Pack. When you start getting into a performance comparison, 3.3 seems okay, but like a Model Y is 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to think the performance Model 3 came out in 2018?
Yes.
So 3.1 is 7 years old now?
Right. And for the money. And
yes.
So acceleration isn't this thing.
So it's nothing new on acceleration.
Right. It's a really hard car to say anything really majorly positive other than it rides really nice on the road.
It does.
And the lane centering seemed to work pretty well. Capacitive wheel, and that's all good. But I just have no idea who's going to buy this car. I really have no idea.
Yeah.
Turning radius, not good. Into reverse. Okay, so let's do all the low speed stuff, and then we're actually on a twisty road, and I'm gonna rip it. First of all, dude,
I don't know if we mentioned the cameras are excellent.
Yeah, that's
Camera
right.
quality's excellent.
360 surround cam, wonderful quality.
Yep.
Yeah, really good. So I've got 3 levels of regen, and I have a little bar here indicating 1, 2, and 3. It's 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3 G of deceleration. It does have one pedal driving with creep mode off. The weirdest thing is the drive unit clunks. So it's almost like the motors are rocking in the subframe. When I accelerate, you get a clunk, and when you brake and come to a stop, didn't necessarily do it there, but when we were going through the Starbucks drive-through, clunk, 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 clunk.
He thought I hit the brake. I'm like, no, that was the car.
So it might have the worst one pedal drive tuning of any vehicle I've ever been in, because if we just get up to speed here a little bit and I lift off, regen, and then it just like grabs friction right at the end.
Right.
And then you hit the throttle and the motor rocks, basically. A lot of NVH at low speed from a clunking perspective. And I would actually argue on the highway as well, it's quiet, but you do get, every time you hit a bump, every time you're on an uneven surface, a lot of times cars with big hatchbacks just get this huge reverb in the cabin, this like deep bass drone, if you will. And this has a lot of that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna drive in auto first, which is sort of comfort mode, and it will automatically adjust stuff for us. I've got us in full regen with 1 pedal drive on, and we're just gonna drive it around gently. So interesting that the motors are done by Bosch, and this one has the front axle disconnect. The question I have is the front axle disconnect only under normal cruising? Or is it when you select eco mode? Like, I don't know if it's connected now or not. We'll have to see, because there was a little bit of delay when you hit the throttle.
See if you can feel it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, get up to speed here and just mat it real quick. Let's see what happens. Oh, you could feel it connect there.
Okay.
There was a little thunk, and then it gave power. Or it was the motor rocking, but there was definitely a little, little thing.
One of the two.
Yeah. So this car is absolutely wide, absolutely huge, and that fits with the Dodge brand.
Yeah.
Like, I think that works.
Like, and like we said, we're a little bit late, so we saw some, like, the negativity around it.
Yeah.
And you get in and you expect it to be remarkably bad, and then you're like, oh, this isn't, it kind of drives nice.
Yeah, I think both you and I came in with, like, I was actually visibly angry on the way to drive this car.
I was a little worried about Kyle.
I was just like, this is the biggest piece of shit. Why would they build this thing? I don't understand. It makes no sense. I still kind of feel that way, but at least it like actually works-ish, and like rides good on the highway. Like, these have never been performance handling cars. No. And we're not even in the track pack, you know, crazy one. So I'm just gonna hit sport mode really quick. Throttle changes instantly. Steering's pretty light, but I like a light steering car. And let's just go have some fun. Dude, they're so wide.
This is the absolute worst road to put this on.
Yeah, but the power feels good. Brake pedal, a little bit brake by wire-ish. You're totally right. The throttle's a bit sensitive when you first get on it. Yeah, they can like totally extend the throttle length and not be so snappy. But it's not built for this.
And do you think that that's something that they could tune and then do via an over-the-air update if you take it into the dealership, or is it kind of done?
Do you really think Stellantis is going to do OTAs?
No, I don't. I don't, but I'm just asking.
We should ask them.
Yeah, we should actually, because that would be because it's there.
Yes. We're not here to say nice things about this car, by the way.
Yeah, we're just sharing our...
So many reviewers were like trying to justify, like, it's bad, but... there's no but from my side. It's just like, I don't get this thing.
And we also talked about this earlier. The conversation's totally different if it's $39,000.
Right.
But it's not. It's in a league. It's in a cost league of the best EVs.
Yeah, if they made this product come out and it was like you get a huge car with a big battery and like it maybe not so well refined or tuned, which it's clearly not, and it was under 40 grand, it'd be like, holy smokes, Stellantis is back. This is like, that's America. You get all the power, the size, the space, the highway cruising for the cheap money. The problem is this thing is Model S money.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you look at what the Model S...
What's a base Lucid Air? 69.9?
69, yeah.
Cheaper than this car.
Yes. That's, yeah.
Let's launch it real quick, shall we?
Yep.
Okay, so the best way to launch it, I think, is to go to Sport. This one is not the fast one. We're going to drive the fast one later. Left foot on the brake, flooring it with the right. We're torqued over.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it shows the pound-feet going up. And then
I could have beat this in a foot race right there.
That was so lame. Just getting into the corner, too. Fell right on its face.
I can't believe how slow that was.
That was really slow.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
Dude, it just feels so cumbersome coming through here.
Heavy turn. Jesus.
Full brakes. Nothing about this is good.
That strawberry acai.
Yeah, sorry about the strawberry acai. Yeah, dude, it's flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
Granted, we're not in the track pack one, so this is the normal, everyday kind of, cruiser. But it certainly doesn't love that. And I feel a bit sick already.
Yeah. It's like 500-foot drop-offs.
That's fine. It's got airbags.
Yeah.
What is the crash rating on this car? Have they announced the safety testing?
Let's see. How do they all get 5 stars?
They all get 5 stars. It means nothing anymore.
I know.
We need to make safety testing way harder. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
They don't fit. Yeah.
Let's not spend more time with this car on a twisty road because it clearly doesn't love this.
Yeah.
Let's go back on the highway on the straight Phoenix roads because that's what it loves.
Yes.
So we'll get out on there. Okay, so we're on the way down the mountain, just taking it easy because it just doesn't love to be hustled, especially the base car here. I feel like every video I've seen, everyone's taking the spicy ones up here, and this one, no good. Even those ones doesn't sound great, but what we're gonna do is go to settings. So I think that's in here, and then we can go to creep on and off. That's here, EV sound on. Now we've turned on the big 800 watt Gorilla in the room, and it's supposed to simulate a V8 noise. They say it's the same decibel level as a Hellcat, which I don't think it is, but
that'd be crazy.
So the weird thing is, it's just like I'm in 4th gear, maybe 3rd gear, something like that. Does it help me with the speed? No, it also seems to be a little bit delayed. Like we were on the brakes there, and it was like rev hang was coming down, and so it also, when you rev it, which I can go neutral, no, can't rev it while in motion.
Yeah, and you have to be in sport to rev it anyways.
Yeah. Oh, so it makes the blow off sound. So I'm in neutral. I floor it. Wait, it did it before.
It did.
I'm floored, lift off.
It sounds like a gun.
So it does some noises in neutral, but some noises not. It just, like, the tuning on this stuff is so bad, and Hyundai's already showed us what they can do.
Yeah.
Like Ioniq 5N with the shifting thing, I was kind of against it from a philosophical standpoint, but I had one for a week and literally drove it exclusively with that mode. We're gonna do what all Dodge Charger owners do, and Challenger, is go neutral in a parking lot of people that are sightseeing.
Yeah.
They just looked away. They're like, stop ruining my day.
Yeah.
But we're Dodge owners
Yeah.
here. Dude, it sounds...
yeah.
The problem is there's just no real relative... Like at low speed grumbling, it might be cool, but like even Taycan noises, they'll go up but change pitch.
Yes.
So there is like some sense of build up. There's a little sense of gear shifting, like something to equate to speed. This is like old school, like 3-speed automatic, just sitting on a giant torque converter. And when it revs, it sounds like you have the biggest, heaviest flywheel on the engine.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't drop the revs. So nothing about it is like a noise a car enthusiast would want to hear from a performance-oriented engine.
No, I think you're better off, like you're saying, in the Taycan or the N, developing something new that has to do with the sound of the electric motors. Don't try to replicate a gas car, because it's not a gas car.
Right. So if noise is so important to them, what I'm curious about is why they didn't lean into the EV noises.
Yeah.
So like the Bosch motors on the Gen 1 Rivian scream. They when they come, it sounds so cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. The Bosch motors in this, dead silent. You hear nothing.
Yeah.
They make no noise. Actually, since we're on a straight bit of road, I just want to rocket drive to reverse and see how clunky it actually gets. So no one's behind us. So we'll go reverse, drive. Oh. Clunk, clunk. Dude, I don't know. And it's not fast from a launch.
No, it's actually, it's really slow.
It's like actually slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, I think you could run
I think I could probably beat it to 10 miles an hour.
Are there other modes in this one? So there's auto, wet, snow, and sport. The other one has more power. We're on a downhill. Let's just mat it from not brake boosting it from 0. Clunks.
Yeah, it's just not...
It builds up at 45. So that's the thing, when you buy the base one, and this isn't even base, this is stage 1, so it has 500 horsepower.
That's $70,000.
Yeah, it's a $70,000 car that can't get out of its own way from 0.
Yeah.
And therefore you got to spend more money to get the stage 2, which is just a software tune. There is no physical difference between the motors other than they remove the clutch disconnect on the Scat pack. But in terms of a muscle car and a performance enthusiast as we are, that's the car that interests me. So we'll take this on the highway. Let's go back to the little hub, swap into one of the spicy ones, do some track stuff, and then drive that on the street.
Cool.
And hopefully things will look up from there.
Yeah.
Because right now, this seems like the best $59 a day rental car you could have.
That's true. Be a great rental.
That would be a great rental car because it's kind of fun, and like charging should be good.
Yeah.
I don't really like EVs as rentals for other people, but I love them.
Yeah, I'm with you as well on that, because I've done it. Even like if you know what you're doing, you're still gonna worry about that charge at the end.
Yeah, you show up in a new place with charging infrastructure you don't know or even know how to operate, And yeah, it gets to be a pain, but I would rent this.
Yes.
We are out on city streets in the Charger now. I feel like it works pretty well here in Phoenix because the roads are big, pretty wide. The one pedal driving is truly atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't think, they kind of had to go out of their way to make it that bad.
Yeah, it's just the clunk. It's at low speeds.
Yeah, so you get like this nice regen and 0.3 G. You lift off tons of regen, and then it just lightens up towards the end, and then it goes friction brakes.
Yeah,
it's so weird. But actually, in terms of sight lines, I can see pretty good. The mirrors are pretty small, but it's got blind spot built in. Really nice view out the back, surprisingly, and like not that much blind spot. So better than I would even say the combustion ones.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time with the V8 Chargers and Challengers. It's hard to not call this a Challenger because it's a two-door. It's still messing me up, but it's a Charger. And yeah, I mean, in town like this, sound system, dude, bumps.
Yes. We tested with a Millie Little Wayne as the standard sound system test. Excellent.
Yeah, that's the Jeeves go-to
that's
sound.
The Jeeves. Yeah, that's an essential.
And yeah, dude, bass is good. Great power. You got to crank it up pretty high, but it gives you the juice. I mean, no complaints there, especially considering this feels pretty basic. The interior's weird too. You can only get black or red seats.
I feel like we're in the end credits for Spider-Man here.
Yeah, with the side panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this weird ambient lighting thing. It's like kind of cool, and you can choose different colors, which they were so excited about. But I'm like, ambient lighting's been a thing for 10 years. Like, and they had like a whole presentation on their ambient lighting.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it. You're designing a car, and like we're just reviewing. The work that goes into this is nuts. So but at the same time,
it's a great point though, because we are going to be, this is a pretty harsh review on a car that a lot of people did spend really a lot of time on.
Right, and we're not working at the factory, so like I get it, but I feel like they should also be aware that it's just an ambient light.
Right.
They should just be like, hey, you have ambient lights, 64 settings, cool. It's really cool.
Right.
But it was like there was a lot of emphasis on.
Yeah, it's also like from the electric standpoint, like just this one pedal driving, like it just is so bad that I'm wondering if anyone there benchmarked anything else.
Yeah, with time, their engineers could tune that out.
Yeah, if they support over-the-air update to every module, that could get better.
Well, they don't.
The question is the buyer of this car going to be well versed enough to know what to look for?
That's what I was just thinking. You're like, both of us are over, like, we drive so many different cars and have a good feel. I don't know that the average buyer of this is even going to care about that.
I don't even think the average reviewer will, because after watching the reviews, which I never really ever get a chance to do, or do really, it's been interesting. I didn't hear anyone, we go right here, right?
Here, yeah.
I didn't hear anyone mention the one pedal drive being bad or good, but it's atrocious. And so I feel like maybe we just have a different take.
Yeah, I think a lot of those, like I saw the straight pipes, those guys generally aren't on EVs.
Yeah.
So they're not as in tune to that.
Yeah,
maybe.
But they're great guys. Love Yuri and Jacob.
Yeah, no, it's nothing to them. I just think that they're thinking about other things.
Right, they're like, is this a electric V8 muscle car? And we're like, how is this as an EV? We're already over the V8 thing. Yeah. We went through that years ago. And so now it's just like, is it a good car?
Yeah.
Regardless of the marketing or anything. So like, its styling looks pretty aggressive.
Yep.
I can't get over the one pedal.
Yeah.
That I don't know why that's so bad. The like interior space is wide.
Very good.
And the materials are just like all black and plastic and cheap feeling and like typical Stellantis.
And depending on what trim you go with, you can get, we'll show it, the bucket seat.
Yep.
One seat with red or black.
Right. That'll be in the one we drive next. Yeah. Which will be good. So we're going to race this BMW X3 off the line. I'm going to put it into sport mode.
All right.
Which turns traction control off.
Yeah, do you think
it's got to be halfway off?
Yeah, I guess there's no way they're just going all the way.
And I don't know really why it does that. We gave him a head start. Dude, that was the best launch we had. There we go. 40 miles an hour, it ramps up to give everything.
You're right. There, you hit the gas, and then there's a thud in the back behind you there.
Yeah, it's like the motor rocks on its mount, and then it goes. It's very weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on the highway, and we'll show you guys the driver assistance, and then I would like to stop driving this car.
Okay.
You join us now merging onto the highway, which is arguably where this car should shine the best based on our experience. At very low steady state cruising, 40, 45 miles an hour, I was keeping a constant accelerator pedal position and the car was like bucking. It wasn't much, but you could tell there was a little surge going on there. So instead of the i90 surge, it's the Dodge Charger surge.
The i10 surge.
Yep, the i10 surge. And I'm going to keep it in auto mode. And again, I really think this is the one most people are going to buy and lease, not the Scat Pack Performance one. Because if you're going to buy a performance EV, you're looking Ioniq 5N, Taycan, Model 3. This, I can't imagine, would be top of mind. So let's mat it. Builds up speed. Dude, so at 45, it actually boogies.
It does.
Here, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
But it's the software limitation at low speed to make this have a artificially lower 0 to 60 time, because they want you to buy their software stage 2 package. That's just annoying. Hopefully someone will crack the code and you can just just buy a download.
On Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. But then they probably won't warranty the car. Okay, so now we're on the highway. The sun's kind of right at us, so this is tough. I've set the adaptive cruise with lane centering, and I'm going to pull up our driver assistance screen. And this is a pretty basic, dang, where is the, there we go, driver assist. It's got 2 separate buttons for distance control, which you didn't like.
Yeah, because there's only 3 settings. You should just be one button you just cycle through.
Okay.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I could go either way. Feels so wide right now. Like we're squeezing here. I'm going to set us up to 70. And, you know, they don't want to make self-driving pods. Was that the term?
That's correct.
But it has pretty good ADAS.
It does.
It's like,
and if you let go, this quickly turns yellow.
Yep. And I've got it in my head-up display as well, which is super clear and bright. Let's see what happens if I don't touch the wheel. Place hands on steering wheel. I get a message.
And a yellow flashing
blinking.
thing.
Oh gosh, this truck.
Miller might take us out.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll try it again. So we don't die.
It almost got melted.
Yep. All right, so steering on, set at 70. Boom. Not going to touch the wheel. Let's see what happens. We've got another Stellantis product right over here. They really do have a ton of brands.
Yeah.
None of them are particularly strong except for Ram.
Yeah.
Okay, active driving assist canceled.
We're going off the interstate. We're going off the interstate.
So it does the Hyundai thing.
Okay.
So it keeps cruise on, but just shuts off steering and goes on throttle off the road.
That would have been the video. We just let it take us to the wall.
I almost want it to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely dangerous. And we've been giving Hyundai and Kia crap about that. They finally fixed it in their latest generation of cars. Okay, that's enough complaining, because now it's the time to praise the car a little bit, in the sense that there is 0 road noise coming through whatsoever. This is a fairly coarse surface, it looks like. I hear nothing.
Yeah, no, this is excellent.
This is really nice. For being frameless windows too, very little wind noise.
Yep.
Completely great sound isolation. And then you start to understand why it weighs 1,000 pounds more than a Model S Plaid.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty damn quiet. And it actually rides really nice at speed. Keep in mind, this is the base suspension without the adaptive damper. It's a little bit porpoisey and weird, and struggles to control its mass on like lower speed roads over speed bumps and stuff.
Yeah. You feel kind of
yeah. You continue this, you know, body isolate or oscillation after you hit a bump. But on the highway, the mannerisms really settle down once you get some speed on, and dude, it's pretty good.
It's a good cruiser.
It's a good cruiser. And with the charging curve, it's not class leading, but it doesn't seem terrible.
Yeah.
So as long as you can do some math on your own, it's certainly not going to help you find the charging stations or get there at low state of charge. As long as you can do some manual EV road trip stuff, this might actually be a pretty good like company car, cruiser, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, for around town, it'd be excellent.
Yeah.
If you got a 30 to 50 mile commute, you probably enjoy being in here. Sound system was good.
Yeah, I have a feeling the leases on these are going to be really good in not much time.
Yes, I think they're going to get really aggressive.
Yeah, they have to. There's no way this is a $70,000 driving experience or car.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see you back, and we're going to go do the performance-y stuff, but this is where the car shines. All right, guys, well, now it's time to head into the spicier version. So we have the Stage 2 Scat Pack, Stage 2 indicating power. Goodyear Supercar 3 tires, not 3Rs, but that should be cool. It's an OE tire, and it's also 305 front, 325 rear, so real meaty stuff. We also have the 2-valve adaptive damper, which means rebound and compression can be adjusted. And what are we charged up to? It looks pretty full. It's showing 158 miles at basically 100%, which indicates proper driving. So it is a guessometer. We have a bunch of stuff going on here. We're going to turn the climate control down into auto. Press again, I see, for lower battery consumption. We'll probably go auto eco so it can transfer as much of the cooling to the battery pack that it needs. A little bit laggy. Holy smokes, a lot of bit laggy. We're going to come in here to vehicle, and I'm going to click the drive mode button. So in this one, we actually have a bunch more drive modes. You can see here, drag, custom, wet snow, sport, track. Track mode will probably start in, honestly. It puts the suspension in full racy race mode. However, there's also a custom mode, which is kind of cool. So we can go with propulsion track, paddles on, traction track, suspension track, steering, sport. I think that's probably how we should do that. I think that's probably the way to do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the sound, because I'm not into the sound thing. I know a lot of people are. I get it. That's a big selling point here. But to me, it's just, I'd rather hear the raw sound of the motor. So we'll go to electric vehicle, settings, electric drive, EV sound off. There we go. Much better, I think. And this is just going to be a very initial performance driving. So I'm actually got my buddy up here who can rip, so we'll have a good group. I think they'll probably take it easy for the first couple laps. We'll get a feel for everything. This one's fully optioned and spec'd. I think this one's got to be pretty expensive. I don't even know if the window sticker's in here. It is. This one's, holy smokes, 86 grand, 85.9. Whoa, it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of weight in the car. So anyway, let's go see what it's like to drive this thing hard, and we're actually going to drive it hard. I mean, they said we can go as fast as we want. You guys know me. We'll be pushing it pretty damn quick, I hope. There's also this performance application that's pretty cool. So there's a race preparation that if I activate it, looks like it's off. So they already had it in race prep. Oh no, race prep is on now. Air conditioning turns off. Interesting. So it turned off all climate, and now it's bringing down the battery temperature is what it's trying to do. So we have it actually set to drag race. We're going to go to track, which will cool down the battery, I hope. I don't know why it says battery level is not good. We're at 95% state of charge, but let's cancel it. Let's activate, press again. Nope. So activate race prepped. This is the clunkiest, confusing system. So it's on. We're in track. There's also launch control and drift mode that we'll play around with later, but we're going to keep it in race prep track, and we should be good to boogie here. So this is definitely cool to see some pre-chilling effect that you can do. All right, Ben, we're in the car on track. We met the dude. We found like a nerd here.
We found him.
Okay, he said they cannot regen through ABS. So to actually keep, anyway, there was a bunch of like little things that we learned, but we're going to see how it drives. So I've got my custom drive mode set up. The one thing we're going to do is pull up the performance pages so we can keep an eye on the temperatures.
Starting at 57.
Yep, and the motors could be one of the issues as well. So let's get up and let's go have some fun with these things. So everything's dialed up. First time in the Scat Pack, dude. Already feeling a little bit more grip for sure than the other car.
Dude, I mean, this feels nice.
Yeah.
I will say, I've done this track before in Corvettes and the Hellcats and stuff.
Yeah.
I was blown away about the balance of the vehicles just from the factory. And this feels similar.
Okay, interesting, cool. So yeah, we've got a really nice, kind of tight track for something this heavy. And here we go, full rippage. So these guys are going pretty good. And we're out to have some fun.
This is a warm-up lap.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we're with the fast people now, which is great. Dude, a little bit of delay on throttle. Just felt like, okay, too much ESP. We got to get it off later. Front end's going. Come on, baby. Let's go. Turn. Full power. Getting onto the brakes. Let's get this thing turned in. Dude, it feels so heavy, but also really kind of nice at the same time.
It's doing nice. The tortilla soup doesn't feel good right now.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Let's get it turned. Let's go, baby. Little curve action. I'm matted. We're full send. That's everything we got. I think, oh, we got power shot. I forgot. I was like, why are they pulling away from us? Because they got power shot.
DRS was ready.
Yeah, dude, I forgot about that. I don't necessarily like the idea, per se, of a boost function.
Right. But that's why they were getting away.
Right. So this dude's ready to go set a time. So he's a great driver. and we're gonna go have some fun with it. Yeah, so it's just like not the most engaging thing. There's not much coming through the steering. Definitely think we need to go sport on the drivetrain because the power is limited. So here's power shot. Oh, dude, it ripped the front motor. Feel it just understeer?
Yep.
But here we go. Just full ABS. You feel nothing in the pedal. It's all brake-by-wire. But it's great. I mean, it's hilarious.
For this weight, and the tires, it's impressive. It's amazing what a tire can do. We left Earth there.
Oh, yeah. It's all just weight management through here. Nothing beyond that. Get it turned, get the power shot thing. Dude, when you hit the power shot, it's just so much front motor. Look at this thing just straight understeering through here. More power shot. Does let you turn it back on pretty quick, which is good.
There we go.
And now we're on the cool down. So, what I will say initially is the seating position is not great for this. I feel like we're on top of the car.
Yeah.
And like suspension gets pretty firm and like surprisingly like handles way better than the previous generation Charger and Challenger. Like this feels relatively tight. Brakes feel really good in terms of power. But I wouldn't call it fun or even remotely oversteery, and it certainly gives power on the front axle when you hit that power shot a little bit too much. So it's
lateral
like
support. I feel like you need a little bit more.
Yeah, the seats are open. These are the new, or the bucket seats, the upgraded ones.
Although I don't have a steering wheel. You do.
Yeah,
so
yeah, sure. But even then, I'm flopping around. So yeah, interesting run. I don't know if anyone's ever going to do that. Like Model 3 is way more fun than that.
Yeah, just shockingly more fast.
Yeah, certainly. But man, this thing can get up and boogie if you need it to. So pretty impressed with all of that there in terms of just stability. Battery temperature barely came up. Motor temps barely came up. So next run, definitely going to go sport drivetrain.
Okay.
Because I was like, yeah, got to hit the power shot to get the power. I hate that. It just takes your mind away from it.
Yeah. It should just give you all
Just
the power.
give me full power, and if it thermal derates, then it slows down.
Yeah.
In drive, then hit this.
Yep.
Okay, and it does the noise. ESC off.
It's ready to go.
Cool. Yeah, we'll just do a quick little sighting lap, just get a feel for it, and then we'll have some fun if that sounds okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Right or left of the cone?
To the right of the cone. There you go. Go, go, go.
Yeah, I'm at it.
All right, hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. The camera came on. So
Oh, interesting.
maybe that might have interrupted something. Let's try it again.
Yeah, because I was right down. So it says, it doesn't say ESC off.
Then let's stop it again.
Yep.
And one of the things I noticed is that I was lightly on the brake. I needed to be a little harder on the brake. That was one thing that stopped me at one point.
Okay, interesting. You
So-
mean right here?
Yeah, so come to a stop,
Yep.
just push a little harder on the brake. Put the car in park.
Yep. Car and park.
Put it back in drive.
Drive. Okay.
Now,
Stand on the brake. Hit this. We're in donut.
oh, yep, we are in donut mode, so we're good to go.
Yeah, we'll try it out. Yeah, because ESC came on for
Yeah,
some
let's
reason.
try it now.
All right, let me get a little bit more speed.
And you've got a good flick to it, so I think you're going to get this.
We'll see. It's really freaking slow in this mode.
Got it, go, 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 go.
So I'm just completely pinned.
You had it, and all you did
Oh,
was
and then it just gave front motor. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
So that was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, you had your drift.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of came
But there
in.
was
and,
no juice on the rear.
Let's try it again.
Yeah, because I was completely. So now it feels way faster.
All right.
For some reason, the throttle's a little bit more sensitive. Do you mind if I bring a little build up of speed?
Now go for it.
Okay, cool. So we're ripping. We're gonna go a little wide. Now let's
Yeah,
hold
go a little
direction.
wider. It's
Yeah.
fine. Go wider if you want.
Yep.
Now, go, 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 go. Gas, 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 gas.
So there's nothing.
There's nothing. All right, so let's do this. Go back to staging,
Yeah.
and what we'll do is we'll just shut the car off, and we'll restart it again.
Okay.
See, maybe something came up.
Yeah. Or can we try sport mode perhaps?
It doesn't work for the drift, I don't think.
We could try it. Little 4-wheel drive skid. Mind if I give it a go?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Oh, there's one first time for everything. So it says even drive mode selection not available. So sport. Okay, I don't know
Yeah,
what.
put it in drive.
Hold on, cancel drift mode.
Hold on. Put it in drive.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to get the car
There you
reset.
go.
So we'll keep holding till we have ESC full off. Yeah, because I'm just like right to the floor and it's not. Oh wait, hold on. I'm messing it up. So sport mode, we'll go ESC full off. There we go. Ready?
All right, go for
There
it.
is a car coming behind us, just so you know.
All right.
All right, let's boogie. So it's a little front end tire spin.
Oh, then you got front motors now.
Yep. So I'm matted, and and it won't do anything.
Something's telling you.
We're in turtle mode,
Okay.
so we have a vehicle fault.
All right, let's pull over here. You broke it.
Yeah, battery regen unavailable.
All right, you're going. Yes. There you go. Now keep looking to the left. Modulate. Look. Keep looking. Straighten that wheel out. There you go.
Oh, there we go, baby.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
Can we do one here?
No.
Okay.
Let's pull over here. Now I'm going to give somebody else a shot.
Yeah, sure. No, thanks for finally getting the car dialed in.
Yes.
So we're all good.
I worked very hard at it.
Yeah. Well, guys, you have to forgive the hair. I've had a helmet on track today, and well, I've had the chance to drive the new Dodge Charger Daytona, both the RT and the Scat Pack, on road and on track. And I am left, to be brutally honest, completely disappointed. Not only with the hard components of the vehicle, but also the vehicle integration and some of the, I would say, EV components of it, but also the way I think it was presented and the knowledge base of the people at the event was really hard to get really key information from. So I hate to be such a Debbie Downer about this whole thing, but let me walk you through some of my final thoughts now that I've spent time with the car with the day, or for the day. So I want to quantify my final opinions on this car by saying I'm a combustion enthusiast, but also cover electric cars for work and also have a huge passion for really great electric cars. I own a bunch of different EVs. I absolutely love the culture and the tech and the, innovation that's come from performance with electric cars. And I'm really not sure we're finding any of that here. And usually there's some redeeming quality about a vehicle to say, okay, well, maybe it's not great in this category, but, and I cannot find the but here. I can't find any redeeming quality from my point of view. So let me quantify that for you. Let's first start with the charging performance. Just over 200 kilowatt peak is fine, and I really think that might be the best part of this car is not the charging flap, but the charging curve being okay. And I still don't think it's going to do that well in the 10% challenge or anything like that. But of course, we'll get one to test at some point, hopefully, so we can quantify with numbers what this car will be like. I was told the onboard charging speed of this car was followed below, which was we can support any charging speed from 6 kilowatt hours to 200 or to 180 kilowatt hours. Or 200 kilowatt hours, someone else said. Someone actually got it right and said kilowatts. I purposely misspoke because that's what was told to me. Someone here said that it's a 11 kilowatt hour charger. What I think they meant by that is that it's actually an 11 kilowatt onboard charger. No one here could tell me it was 48 amps, which is like the most basic of EV stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's a 48 amp onboard charger. So again, the information was really hard to get here, and that's just, left me a little bit frustrated, I have to say. On top of that, the driving experience of this car at low speed is dreadful. The one pedal drive tuning is absolutely terrible. The motors clunk and thunk. The one pedal drive is completely unsmooth. It's just like, this is very basic ABCs of electric cars, and this just doesn't have it. You might argue the styling is good. I don't necessarily agree, although most of my peers here say it looks good. To me, it just doesn't. This just looks like a weird body panel up here, and it's way too big for the size, and I do like the big trunk space. That's awesome, but the driving experience at low speed isn't great. The highway cruising really is nice. This thing settles down on the highway and eats the miles pretty damn well. The driver assistance is okay until it goes into a fail-safe mode and sends you off the road. But I really think there's just so much more innovation needed here. On top of that, as far as I can tell, this vehicle does not support plug and charge, even though they told me it has plug and charge. When I asked if it had plug and charge, they said, yeah, you can plug it in and activate it with your app. I'm like, that's not plug and charge. There was something about maybe EVgo supporting maybe auto charge with Mac ID. I'm not 100% sure. Stellantis has free to move as their charging program, but I'm left even more confused than when I got here, because someone, one of the product managers for this car was convinced that it had EV route planning. And then I take him and show him and he's like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, we don't do that. And I'm like, but you have to choose the station manually every time you want to go somewhere, like I showed you earlier in the video. I'm like, that's just insane. So, okay, as a daily driver, it certainly isn't going to help you with your daily charging and driving. It's certainly not smooth enough to be considered a great EV-like driving experience. The motor's knocking is absolutely insane. There's a lot of this low-frequency reverberation in the cabin that, just because it has this big hatchback, really makes this boominess throughout the car that almost gives me a headache. The fake sound, thankfully, you're able to turn all of that off, but it doesn't simulate anything other than like driving around in fourth gear. So if you're on a low speed mountain road and you hit the throttle, it just sounds like you're lugging the engine the whole time. And I'm not sure how that's an exciting experience. If I'm driving a combustion car, I want it lively, up in the rev range, really absolutely getting there and having fun. And this is just like brrr, up at 2,500 RPM lugging. And also when you rev it, because you can rev the noise, it sounds so delayed, and it doesn't love to spin up or down. It sounds like it's a really heavy flywheel. And I'm like, you had the opportunity to put any noise in here possible, and you just put the laziest V8 with like the tallest gear ratio and simulated that in the car. And I'm like, that makes no sense to me. Other things, options and packages. This one, again, being the Stage 2. This is the Scat Pack. $85,000 for this car right here. You're touching not very far off Model S Plaid money. The weight is insane. I have no idea how they made it weigh so much. It's almost 6,000 pounds. It's like 5,800 pounds plus or minus. About 1,000 pounds more than a Model S Plaid with just over half the power. I know we don't really compare new cars to used cars, but you can buy used Plaids for 50 grand now. 55 grand. Holy smokes. And then, when we got into the drifting segment, the car faulted. It went into turtle mode. We had to switch cars because that had an issue. Now, that is not uncommon. These are pre-series vehicles. We do see issues from time to time, but it just leads me to believe maybe this isn't fully baked and fully sorted yet. And then when you get it on track, it's actually unbelievably well controlled for something that weighs so much. But when you compare it to its competition of performance EVs, of Model 3 Performance and Ioniq 5N, or even Lucid Gravity, which I recently just drove, that weighs about the same, this has none of the fun character or playfulness that you would expect from a rear drive muscle car. This drives like a front biased electric car. And I really think having that super juicy rear tire on there ruins a lot of the experience. You can see it just on the drag strip. When you watch videos of this car launching, it just lights the front tires up to the moon. That is like the worst attribute you can have to a vehicle, is front wheel drive wheel spin. You don't want that. And this is what this car has. I mean, I don't know how Dodge has gone from making rear wheel drive burnout drift machines absolutely rowdy to an electric car where they could have enabled so much fun and tech and performance, and then they put the same motor front and rear that just spins the front tires wherever you go. Man, I'm sorry to be so harsh, but it's the truth. Let me finish up some thoughts inside. So I really don't want you guys to take my criticisms as being ungrateful to come to this event. I know it comes off sometimes when I'm critical on a vehicle that I just hate to do it, because I want to see brands make such great, exciting cars. And I'm such an enthusiast of electric and combustion. And I thought maybe this could be the perfect magical combination. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to attract the combustion owner to come over and drive something like this. And it certainly isn't going to be a Conquest EV sale. So then where does that leave us with this car? Well, talking to a lot of the people here, talking to the CEO of Dodge, I've had a chance to meet with everyone. They just keep saying to me, like, oh, wait for the 6-pack, wait for the combustion one that's coming next year. I'm like, why? Make the EV one good. So consider me a little bit frustrated, a lot of bit frustrated. Again, I want to say a huge apologies to Dodge, but it's also just like, this is my opinion on the car. Also, talking to a lot of my peers here from other outlets, they're like, everyone under their breath is saying the same thing. They're like, man, wow, this isn't great. But they're all trying to justify it. I don't know why, maybe to say nice things about the brand so they get invited to the next thing. I don't know. But from my point of view, there's just not a single redeeming quality for this vehicle except for trunk and rear seat space, which on a muscle car, that's like the least important thing ever for an electric sports car. Yeah, and I hate the idea that you have a power shot boost. Just give me full power when I floor it. Like, why do I have to hit a boost button every time? That I really don't like. IONNA 5N has that. Taycan has that. That drives me a little bit crazy. Okay, so again, don't take my comments as being ungrateful for being here. I'm thrilled that I was able to come here and drive this car and make this video for you. And I hate to be so harsh on this thing because I want it to be good. And maybe what annoys me a little bit more is just that the people don't seem to get it. They don't get the EV thing. It's not part of the DNA of Dodge. It's their first electric car, but I thought maybe the other Stellantis brands would carry over some of that inherent knowledge, just the basic kilowatt versus kilowatt hour and the basic functions that electric car needs, which is on-route battery preconditioning, route planning, and plug-in charge, none of which, as far as I can tell, this car supports, except for preconditioning for track use or drag strip use. So I guess you could do that on a charger. Maybe it does precondition on the way. No one could tell me who I asked. So it's not fast. It's not particularly fun. It's extremely expensive if you look at the MSRP, although I imagine there's going to be some pretty cheap lease deals on these things in no time. That's just my guess because we're already seeing national sales programs before they hit dealers. And I think that ends the video. It's not a great video. I'm sorry. Sorry to people watching that worked really hard on this car because it's not representative of everything on this car. Like, you know, lighting is cool. There's some other cool stuff. So I hate to put one review on a car because there's so many different areas of a car that matter. And some things are good on this car. Like I'm sure build quality is going to be nice, body panel shut lines, paint quality, all of these things that don't necessarily relate to the total vehicle experience. And I know some Stellantis people will be watching and they're like, I worked on the interior mirror. And it's like, yeah, great. But the total vehicle package here, if you're thinking about buying a car, I just don't see where this car fits in. I'd much rather spend half the money of a Scat Pack and get a Model 3 Performance, or spend just a tiny bit more money and get a Plaid, which is crazy in terms of performance. And if you're into combustion, like this fake sound's not enough to make it exciting. Just go and get a previous generation Hellcat. Those are sick. Those are awesome. I don't think there's much more to say than that. You guys get the gist. It's not good. Thanks for watching. See you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.